So here was our meditation for today. It was really like a contemplation more than anything. Like it puts you in the place of like considering or opening up for the idea of freedom. And where do you find that? Where can you find that? Like an answer to that? Or where do you come in touch with your freedom? And so it's great to be confronted with it, especially when you feel stuck. It works just as well. It's like where is that taking place? What do I need to do in order to get there, or to do that, or to well, it's not a getting, it's not a performance, it's not a doing, but what is it? So what is freedom? That is the question. So that's also one of the questions I would love to share. Ask you, like, what do you think freedom is? And guess what? I made an what you call that, a whiteboard for it, and you can write in what means freedom to you. It's like we start with you. And not with lofty words or anything or beautiful ideas, but just like, what means freedom to you? And there will be more. There will be more whiteboard. So now you're prepared. This is great. So in the preparation to this class, you received a PDF. And if you didn't receive it, I can still send it to you. And it told you, say, references with the idea of freedom. Maybe I'll take a look at that later with you. Now it is like, okay, so what is freedom, and how do you get to that, so to speak? How do you do this? How do you do freedom? Like, we cannot see this. We see this in the frame of the 12, the 12 steps that we take in this cycle, in this circle. And starting with determination, remember, perseverance, and then forgiveness, leaving everything behind, forgiving the past, letting it go. Becoming, say, clean with our backyard, with our past. Seeing that actually brings up feelings of gratitude, like so happy to leave things instead of dragging them with me. I do this very quick, I know. So the next thing then is gratitude. The thing then that follows is light. You start to experience light. You start to see that there's a possibility for you to enter into different aspects of your consciousness. Suddenly there's more possible. You experience peace. And you experience peace. So I see a text I have to... Okay, so that's all right. That's fine. You can just chat me and chat, and I'll put it on the whiteboard. We can practice this one day. So having all these aspects, say after you forgive, literally, if you take a look at what we did, like we forgive the relationships that had conflict, the things that happened that you think you did to others or others did to you, that is being brought to you, back to you, being the source of what you see, recognizing that you're the source of what you see, like perception has a cause, that is you, like it starts here, you're the one perceiving it that way, and there's a different way to look at everything, sure, but taking full responsibility for what you see, bringing it back to yourself, forgiving that, literally letting it go because you actually discover it is over. Why am I still dragging this with me? There's no necessity for me to drag my guilt and my ideas about myself, because this is literally over. It is gone. So dislodging ourselves from the linear time that we're so used to, like the objective reality that we said the other day, is like an objective reality that we think we're in, with objects, with a timeline, with a birth and a death and an in-between thing, with some people being enemies and some friends, and you know, your own place. The central figure in this dream world is your body and all this. Like, you forgive all of that. You literally allow yourself to come into a whole new idea that is not of your own making, because you can say whatever you want, but the world you see and your idea about yourself was made up by you so far, until you saw there's another opportunity. So recognizing that you are the source of what you perceive is in fact a huge step in the direction of freedom. So now you can relinquish it, you can let it go, you can give it up, like your whole story can collapse now, like you can give that up. You don't have to no longer to uphold it or confirm it to yourself, the reality of it, or trying to hold it together. You don't have to do that. Imagine what an incredible energy is released when you are giving that up. So you decide, and you discover, you see where this takes place in mind. That was also one of the steps. You see where this takes place, and recognizing that that is not all of your mind, because there's also the mind with the capital M, the mind of God, the wholeness of God, you are actually the effect of God. So as this world appears to be the effect of you, God is the source of you, is literally your source. So you're the effect of it. And that means a lot of things. We saw that the other day too. It's like, that means a lot of things, because you did not create God, but God did create you in his likeness and perfection and wholeness. Recognizing that that occurred, letting that come into your consciousness as an idea, as an acceptance of that, you see that you come in touch, like, with these new experiences of you in your new mind, in fact, free of the past because you forgave, say, deeply coming in touch with moments of peace and light and joy, and seeing that this joy wants to extend into the kingdom, like giving your love back to God and extending that into the kingdom. You discover a whole new consciousness that is actually living through you, giving you all the opportunities you have to extend the light into your world, and giving you lots of opportunities to do so. But it doesn't stop there. So then you come to the freedom of, yeah, in fact, the freedom of choice. You don't have, then at that point, you don't have to make a decision anymore. It's like it's literally God, being my source, extends through me into this world. I don't have to make up how that looks like or what that's supposed to mean or what I'm supposed to do. No, that extends through me in my recognition of my source, of my purpose and source. And seeing that that works perfectly, allowing that to become my certainty, you see that all of that starts to grow in you, in your consciousness, and giving you opportunities that you had no idea about. But literally, you don't have, in that sense, you don't have a real self-interest anymore. Like that seems to dissipate, like that disappears. And this is, yeah, the relinquishment effect of the selfhood that you made. You don't live your life of yourself anymore. Like, it's really interesting. You come into an extension that's happening through you, and that determines which way you go. Like, you don't have to decide for that at that point anymore. So I'm speaking from my own experience in this, and seeing that whole process evolve in front of my eyes, literally. It's like things that I would look at. You could see it like this, like as a human being, you're constantly redefining yourself. You come up with definitions of yourself, like, oh yeah, I'm actually more this kind of person, or I'm more that kind of person, or I'm actually more like this or more like that. And constantly you adjust that self-image. You probably recognize that in yourself too. Depending to whom you're talking, you're actually redefining yourself continuously, reinventing. You could say, like, I'm reinventing myself all the time, and defining it too. So you build an image of yourself, and you start to defend it as a human being. You literally start to say, like, no, I'm more like this person. I'm having that study. I live in that neighborhood. I have this partner. I have this kind of work, and this is me. And you try to hold on to that image. And no matter what happens, you try to, be that. While this is, of course, not you, and you actually know it too. Continuously you feel like, well, it's not completely me, I'm just also pretending. Like, you admit your own corruption in that sense, in the doing. So this is really interesting, without, attempts to let that image collapse, without attempts to give up that idea, but instead holding on to it. So this is really interesting, because you have ideas about yourself. You look at yourself, you have ideas about yourself. And to compare it with the animal kingdom, for instance, like, yeah, name any animal. A chicken. He does not have ideas about himself. Like, he doesn't have to. He's just a chicken, and he knows he's a chicken. It's like there's no consideration or doubt. There's no identity crisis connected to it. It just is what it is, a chicken. And it does what it does, like what chickens do. It is really like this, and that is different with human beings. So we are this high intelligent species that is like way above the animal kingdom, but we're actually in doubt about who we are continuously, redefining ourselves and reinventing ourselves like no tomorrow. And this is interesting to watch this happen, and seeing myself go through a continual, say, reinvention of myself up to the point that I see that I don't have to do this anymore, but I start to come into the giving up of that self-image continuously, letting go of any ideas I held about myself before, forgiving myself literally of doing that, of thinking that I need to define myself in order to be someone or to be myself. See, this is the in fact the confusion. Reinventing myself because I think that I need to define myself, otherwise I would be nothing. So this is great. So in coming back then to your cause and effect relationship, like if God is your cause and he created you as an effect of him in his perfect likeness, in its imperfection, in his likeness, in the love that you are and that he is, you see that there's no need to define yourself. There's also no need, once you're in this extension of yourself, there's also no need to observe yourself or to have ideas about yourself. That is the great thing. You're suddenly free of your self-definition. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's totally amazing. Suddenly that you discover for yourself that that is so. And the most beautiful thing then is all the energy that's in fact available to you by not having to protect yourself or defend yourself. Seeing that that really literally changes your whole energy of yourself. In fact, you don't get tired anymore. Yeah, that is one of the side effects, so to speak. Like it's, you don't get tired because you don't have to be anything else. Like you don't have to. You're literally free of performance, like we said in the meditation. You become free of performance. You don't have to perform a certain way to make something happen or to be someone. No, you just be yourself. You just relax into that, continuously letting go of any kind of definition of yourself, seeing that that works perfectly and that nothing is lost at all. So I think I made that point. That's an essential part in this what we're looking at. So you need to discover this for yourself in order to become free of your self-definition. Now, that sounds very conceptually even acceptable, right? That's pretty amazing. All right, so then talking about this relinquishment, I need your pencils and text and whatever again for this new whiteboard. What do you want to relinquish right now? Where do you want to get rid of right now? What do you want to give up right now? All right, so I'm going to read some of this, or all of it. One is doubt, relinquishing doubt, being responsible for everything and everyone around me. I would love to relinquish that right now. I would love to relinquish illusion. Myself. My human sense of existence. My need to know what it's going to look like. All the illusion of the past. Believing I need to do something to make something happen. Overwhelming fear. The idea that the past needs to be explained or corrected. relinquishing what there is to do.